Website. It's got a lot about who you are, what you believe in. It doesn't have anything specific about policy, like nothing. There's no policy section on it. At what point do you need to start actually presenting specific policies and a whole policy platform?
Well, I think I've been pretty clear where I stand on the major issues. I think I led the field in opening up the debate about policy on structural reform for the Supreme Court, for example. I'd say I've been more specific than many in offering a pathway to get to a Medicare for all environment versus just saying we can make it happen. And there's a tool coming online shortly, if it's not there now, that will make it possible to just enter a keyword and see, visualize, pull all the video on what I've said about that particular issue. We'll continue to roll out specific policy proposals too, but I also think it's important that we not drown people in minutiae before we've vindicated the values that animate our policies. Because as Democrats, this is a habit that we have. We go right to the policy proposals, and we expect people to be able to figure out what our values must be from that. I expect that it will be very easy and clear to tell where I stand on every specific policy challenge of our time, but I'm going to take the time to lay that out while also talking about values and everyday impacts, rather than competing strictly on the theoretical elegance of the proposal.
So Pete Buttigieg has yet to give a solid stance on what his policy or platform is on his website, and yet he has also made it very clear that he doesn't see having policies set up for day one as necessary. I see this as dangerous because if he doesn't put his policies and platform up front and center, how do we as voters know what we are voting for? How do we know that he represents what we are voting for? I'm not necessarily concerned by Pete being in the race, but I do think his openness about being flexible to of how open and flexible he is with his policies until he is elected is dangerous set for further candidates. Now, people who are attracted to Bernie Sanders, for example, are attracted to him because he has been consistent with his policies and stances throughout his whole political career. If you're not willing to set up a platform as guidelines to what you want to stand for, then how do we know he will fight for us in the White House? Pete has pledged against accepting PAC money, but is still accepting some PAC money, including fossil fuel donations. However, he has also made comments about not supporting boycotts over businesses because of political practices. For example, he eats at Chick-fil-A despite them donating to anti-LGBT organizations. So where does he stand on the boycotting of Israel's government? How does he feel about boycotting Nestle? He doesn't want to have any policies, but he's openly is a critic of people flexing their First Amendment right. In my book, I don't see him getting above 5% of the vote in the primaries, especially after comparing Trump and Sanders supporters as the same. That's all I have for this video. Make sure to smack that subscribe and follow button for all my future videos.